likes and 1 person. I don't know how that works. I did not go to Blade Show. Just so you guys know. Just so you guys know, I don't want you to think I'm going to show you what I got at Blade Show. That wasn't for you guys to question me. Robert Douglas says, good afternoon. Let me get this set up so that the chat is set for all visible. So I figured Robert would be here. So let's see. We get some more people here. I got to tell you, I have a knife in my pocket that I am pleasantly surprised with. I'm going to do a Wednesday's live feed is probably going to be some of my recommended budget, real budget knives. This QSP Pangolin, I know I talked about it in another life. This thing is awesome. This is probably, I was almost going to pass on even doing a video about this knife, and now it's become one of my favorite little knives that's come in for a long time. So if you're just dropping in, drop a like. There's more likes than there are people. So I was just making some coffee. 6 people here, 4 likes. Drop a like if you're here. Let's go check on Pup. I just got back from taking the kid to school. So Mondays and Wednesdays she goes to school for a few hours. It's her only in classroom days because typically she does it all from home. So chunk check. Chunk's here. He's sleepy. See, I did not go to Blade, so I didn't bring anything back. I was just curious if anybody that's here went to Blade and brought anything back. And this probably isn't going to be a real long live feed. I have got a lot of stuff to do today. So we'll probably see what the attendance looks like. If it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of people here, we will simply curtail it down to just a little bit because there's only 2 people here for right now. So I don't know what's going on with this lens. Why does that lens look grubby and dirty? Hang on. Yeah, if there's only going to be 2 people here, I'm not going to run this live feed much more than we have to. So we'll see if some people start showing up. But, yeah, this QSP Pangolin is really an awesome, awesome little knife. It's only 45 bucks. There's a video about it that's going up today. I did first day in pockets. I'm pretty sure that's the video that's going to go up today. So I just wanted to check on the dog. Well, I got news for you. There's 2 people here, and without interaction, well, there's 4 people here now. Without interaction, this video is not going to go great for you guys. I'm going to tell you that right now. So if you guys really just don't want to interact, that's fine. I can always do this some other day. We can get it figured out. I'll do a different live feed on a different day if that's what you want to do. But I'm not going to stand here and try and come up with things to talk about for a long time, for very long, if there's not going to be interactions. So let me make sure I've got this set. So I can sit here and just look at the screen. What's up, Zorro? Are you getting ready for work? Did any of you guys go? I know Zorro didn't go. Drinkwater, did you go? You got called into work. Well, you guys know Mondays, Wednesdays are my day off. So the only thing I do for the channel really is, I'll schedule videos and I'll do thumbnails and stuff like that. I may do a little editing here in a little bit. I got some stuff left over from the weekend that I shot. But typically, I don't do anything but this live feed on Mondays and Wednesdays because I spend time with my daughter. And I got to tell you guys, my wife is going to have surgery soon. And that might cause a little bit of hiccup in content. My wife is going to have some fairly major surgery here in the next in the next month or so, she's going to have some significant surgery. I'm not going to throw her business out there. It's nothing it's nothing life threatening, but it's definitely not just a minor surgery she's going to be having. So there's going to be a few weeks where content may be sporadic, because I'm going to have to take care of a lot of the stuff here. And plus my daughter is getting ready to start applying to colleges. So we're going to spend a significant amount of our time doing that. So if you guys are here, there's 5 of you here. I don't know, YouTube might not be sending out notifications. They've been horrible about it lately, and I do know that a lot of people are busy. The way these work, if you're just dropping into this live feed for one of the first ones, I rely on you guys' interactions. You guys drive this, and if I'm not hearing from you, Rocky, did you get anything at Blade Show? I know you went. Did you get any? Did you pick anything up at Blade Show? Anything cool? I haven't been on the Gilded server to see if you posted anything. Yeah, she's having a lot of pain, and there's a solution to it, and so they're like, okay, she had surgery about this time last year, hoping that it would kind of take care of stuff, but it really didn't. So the solution is a much more invasive surgery. And so she goes in, I think, end of next month, to have that taken care of. And that should end all of this. And I feel bad. I want her to be not in pain. She was in pain all weekend. So it has to do with her female cycle. And it's just reached a point where it's unbearably painful. Like, but we were going to rush her to the emergency room last night. She almost passed out from pain. So this is the last time we're dealing with this. We made the decision that she's going to go ahead and have the surgery to take care of that. I can tell you, she's already told everybody what it was. She's having a partial hysterectomy, because she has such just incredible pain. I can't imagine her having to deal with that for another 5 years. What's up, Murky? Guys, Coffee Brand Coffee wants me to do, I'm going to let you guys know now, there is going to be a video in the near future that is a Coffee Brand Coffee dedicated video. Now, that might sound silly, but what I'm going to do is we're going to do coffee pairings. So they're going to send me some items, and I'm going to do a review of a knife and how it would pair with, like, a tactical knife would be like your dark roast or an Ethiopian. Your more of a gentleman's folder would be something elegant like this, blackberries and cream. You know, something like that. It's going to be fun. They asked me if I wanted to do it. I was like, sure. They're like, we'll send you product, and you can do the full video, make the coffee, like demonstrate different ways. Like, I've got I have 4 different coffee pots that make coffee 4 different ways here at the house. I have a drip maker. I have one of the K-cup style machines. I have an espresso machine, and then I have a vacuum siphon. So that's gonna be fun. What's their lightest coffee? Light roast. Are you gonna do bikini? No, I'm not gonna be a bikini barista. They have a light roast. They have a light roast, medium, a dark roast, and then they have a whole bunch of different flavored coffees. They have iced coffee. Apparently one of the guys, one of the paying members, tried their iced coffee bags and said it was just amazing. So I'm not an iced coffee kind of guy. The things that, yeah, I was saying, like, you guys have got to drive this conversation. Like, if you don't, it's just going to turn into an hour-long call. Tuya knives are great. I have a Tuya NV4 here that is absolutely amazing. And as much as I love it, I didn't carry it as much as I did some other knives. But the fact is, it was so good, it still made a lasting impression. I didn't carry it as much as some of the other knives that come in for review. But it was great, and I love it. And I did the final review. I got ready to do the final review. I was like, why didn't I carry this more? I'm like, why didn't I carry this more? I could have definitely carried it more. So, and if you're dropping in, please drop a like. It helps with the algorithm. So I'll tell you what has been in my, I'll tell you what's been in my pocket way more than I thought it would be. And I said it, like, if you're just dropping in, this $45 QSP pangolin really, really impressed me. The Caladan is the Caladan's great. Jim did such a good job with the design on that. It's not got that over the top look of a lot of Jim's knives, but it is beautiful how it feels. Like the look and the feel of it. Like if I was going to come, I had somebody say it looks like a strawberry. Yeah, the jig, somebody was like, it looks like a strawberry. Like if I was going to critique it, that would be the only thing I would say really about the looks. But other than that, a lot like this, it's got that drop down feel to it where it drops into the cut. So, guys, if you're dropping in, drop a like. There's 11 people here and only 8 likes. Let's go over and let's go do puppy cam. I talked to my mom this morning. My mom has got some serious medical stuff going on as well. My allergies are bothering me. Hang on, give me a second. I have to, I can't breathe. If I give myself my allergy medication. Hit the like button. Yeah. Please hit the like button. Like if you're sitting here and there's 12 people here and there's only 9 likes and you haven't dropped a like, well, that's just not cool. Hey, little dude. He's asleep. We played really hard before we took my daughter to school. 13 people here, 9 likes. Guys, hit the like button. It's fucking free. It doesn't cost you a thing. Just a second of your time to hit that like button. It looks like the Partridge Family. It does kind of, now that you say that, it does look like the Partridge Family. The bird from the Partridge Family. You're right, it does. Now there's 9 people. Now it matches. Cool, thanks. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're the kind of person that drops out of a live feed because somebody asked you to drop a like, don't come back. You know what I mean? I had somebody tell me I was doing stuff on Instagram, and I was doing stuff on Instagram and Twitter, and I was like, I don't do it on the channel, but I was posting things that I feel, you know, like if I disagree with something like Pride Month, I'm gonna say it on Instagram or Twitter a lot of times. And I said that, and somebody was like, well, you're really gonna, because I had the knife sharpening stuff, and they're like, well, there's a lot of people told me that somebody told me, there's like, I referred your sharpening service to a handful of people, and they checked out your Instagram and saw your political stuff, and they were like, I'm not gonna support something like that. And I was like, good, because that's not the customers I want. So if you're dropping in and you're not dropping likes and you get upset that the YouTubers are asking for you to drop a like, I'm not asking you to drop a super chat. I'm just asking you to push a fucking button. And it just irritates this shit. And not just on my channel. You know what really irritates me is when I go to other people's channel and there's like 900 people in a live feed. Like Jeremy over to Quartering or Tim Pool. There's 900 people there. And there's like 150 likes. And I'm like, how? If you don't like it, you shouldn't be watching it. And if you're not liking it, like still, 9 likes. That's my current, I got a beard hair that's curled up at the end of my mouth. That's one of my biggest peeves. Like I'll be on like Jared's live feed and there's like 150, 200 people and there's like 40 or 50 likes sometimes. And you're like, dude, just hit the like button. It doesn't cost, like, it just helps the channel. Biden ripped for staying silent as tensions escalate with China. Was just the headline that just popped up on my phone. So I've never understood that. I've never understood your average like YouTube. Like every video I watch, I like it. Like if I watched more than 30 seconds of it, maybe I didn't like the video. Maybe I didn't like the video overall, but I got some form of entertainment for like 30 seconds or so. I'll still drop a like, because maybe I just didn't, maybe the content wasn't perfect for me, but I can appreciate the fact they put work into it. And if I watched it for more than like 30 seconds, and I don't skip ads. People say I'm lying. I don't skip ads. I let the ads play through unless it's like a 5-minute ad or something like that. I'll watch 30 seconds of it. What is this? What's your favorite high stainless steels? I want to try out Vanax. The thing with high stainless, like the really stainless ones, it depends on heat treat, because if they have a lot of chromium in them, like the high chromium steels, they're usually pretty rust resistant. But if you heat treat them and get a better heat treat and a harder steel, like, okay, so let's say 20 CV. 20 CV is fairly stainless. But if you take it up to 64 Rockwell, like I used to, you convert a lot of the chromium that typically would wind up being like chromium oxide on the outside that prevents the oxidation. You convert more of that into carbides with the carbon, and they combine and they make the carbide, the chromium carbides, which makes the steel harder and makes it more wear resistant and stuff like that, but it detracts from the rust resistance. I'd rather have a steel that is a little bit more prone to oxidation that you could prevent than I would a steel that is going to just be super, super rust resistant, because they don't perform as well. I like some of the nitrogen steels. They're much less prone to oxidation like that. But you got to remember, anything that's got steel in it will oxidize and will rust. So I don't know. I mean, like high stainless, I like 20 CV. I don't know how you want to categorize it, but like some of my favorite steels, S90V, 20 CV, 14C28, and 12C, those are all amazing steels. D2 is really good if you can keep it from rusting. D2 will take a nasty, nasty edge. I'm trying to think about a way that I can get this ceramic coated. So nitrogen steels would be N690, the H1 steel that Spyderco had used for a while. That's a nitrogen-based steel. What is it that and the I can't remember what the one that they use now. Nitro V is a nitrogen-based steel. There's a handful of. I mean, it'll still rust. Yeah, I mean, those are okay steels. I live a literally 30 to 45-minute walk from the ocean. I can drive to the ocean in like 5 minutes to the Imperial Beach over there. And there's a lot of wind that blows this direction. You got a lot of crash. I get a lot of, there's like salt dust on our cars all the time. I have as much salt on my cars here. I have to rinse our cars off really good. We get as much salt here as I would get in Ohio in the winter. And that's why all my cars, I wash our cars. I rinse them off real often. I don't necessarily give them a full wash. But here it's not good for me. And there's something with my sweat. It just ruins D2. As a matter of fact, plastic, the earpieces on sunglasses and stuff like that, my sweat actually will take the finish off. So if you have that's why I always get matte finish sunglasses, because like my reading glasses, it burns the finish off. I actually will burn off the gloss finish on like sunglasses and stuff like that. So it's real acidic and stuff like that. So Guys, I don't think I'm going to run this much more than, we'll probably run this for about another 40 minutes or so. I do. I can rust steels that most people are like, no way. Like I had a Nitro V. I had one of the Ferrum Forge. I had one of the Ferrum Forge knives that was in Nitro V that I carried for a while. It was a prototype, and I had gotten. It wasn't the. It was the first production prototype. So the prototypes were in like 9CR, and then the production ones, the production prototypes that Elliot was like going to pull the trigger on, because they had done it. They had done some of the production prototypes, and like, if they're good, we're just going to run it. So we're just going to run it in the steel, so that they had already had the batch. And so Elliot let me carry one of the 3 prototypes that had come in. And I can't remember which knife it was, but it was in Nitro V, and I rusted the shit out of that knife. And he was like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "I carried it and I used it. And you know me, I take care of stuff. Like I use a knife, I wipe it off. Like that's one of the things I do. I use a knife, I wipe it down. Speaking of which, I use this, and I have not wiped it down yet. We're gonna go out. I'm gonna grab my knife shield. So I was like, I didn't do anything out of the norm. I'm not gonna lie, some of those MREs were freaking, like, people complain about MREs. Some of those MREs were pretty all right. If you guys haven't tried this KPL blade shield, I like it better. I like it better than the other one. I can't remember what it was called, the green one. You just got to make sure you shake it up really good. Chicken and dumplings was good. I always liked the chicken fajita. And they had a chili con carne one. I'll tell you, one of the best things you will, if I find it somewhere, I pick it up and get it. Like, I get stuff from my friends. The wheat snack bread that was in the MREs, absolutely delightful. And the jalapeno cheese spread. I haven't used this for a while, and it settles. As you can see, there's a little bit of the wax that's in it has settled out. It's like the old KPL, or old CLP. I mean, you gotta kind of rinse out. This, especially on D2, I'm really good. I try to be really good about putting the stuff on. A nice thing, you put this stuff on and you let it sit for a few seconds, and you just wipe it off. It does not smell good though. Doesn't smell like it doesn't have the KPL smell. What was that? Somebody said, don't ever say, please don't. You almost died from what? I don't know what we're addressing. Chili con carne almost killed you? Was it a guy named Chili Con Carne? It was so deep. Yeah, that KPL blade shield does a really, really good job, and you just get it wiped off real good, and it leaves a nice fingerprint resistant and water resistant coating on there. You just want to make sure you get it polished off real good. It's not as effective on adhesive as some other things, but yeah, look at that. Nice and clean, and it's got that rust prohibitive coating on it that's pretty good. I use the KPL blade shield on a lot of stuff. And like I said, it doesn't smell as good as regular KPL. And the nice thing is it doesn't evaporate real fast. So if you have a little bit left on your rag, you don't have to respray. You can just use the wet part of the rag on other knives. Yeah, Ryan really did a good job with I like the KPL blade shield. I like all of the I like all of the KPL products. But But this one in particular, as long as you're not trying to get adhesive off. If you're getting adhesive off, there's two things I recommend. 90% isopropyl, and just spray it on, leave it there for a second, wipe it off. If that doesn't take it off, use something with actual water and make sure it's just not food. Because things that are not water soluble, things that are water soluble typically won't come off with rubbing alcohol. Things that aren't water soluble will. So typically what I'll do is I wet rag and see if that takes it off, so I can see if it's adhesive, or if I've cut like a bag of rice open. Like my wife will cook rice and then put it in vacuum bags, or not vacuum, I'm sorry, in saran wrap. And then I'll split that open and you wind up with the rice residue on it, and then you want to wash that off. If it dries on there, it looks like adhesive, and when you try to take it off with alcohol, it won't come off, and it won't come off with a lot of your other solvents. So if you just use water. So did that crazy glue, did the acetone work to get it off? Because super glue, you can get off with rubbing alcohol, but it takes a lot. Like you got to soak it a lot to get it to break down. But if you put some acetone on a rag and wipe it for like super glue residue, absolutely will take it off. If you ever have a knife, oh man, Brian's stuff is great. Brian's fun too. If you have a knife that is Loctited, like the pivot is Loctited really hard, another thing you can do, as long as there's not, like, I will preface this by saying you shouldn't do this if it has plastic bearings. So if it has like the Delrin style plastic bearings, I don't advise this. Or if it has Cerakote or ceramic coating. Ahead of time, I'm gonna tell you not to do this. But if you have a knife that has been like Loctited and you can't get it apart and you need to get it apart, and the Loctite isn't, you can take the entire knife and put it in a container, a glass container, don't want to put it in plastic, and then put some acetone, just enough acetone to cover the parts that you want out, and it will, capillary action will get in there, and leave it like that for a couple days, take it out, wash it out, and it should real quick then allow you to get those parts out. I've had to do that before. There's been a couple knives that somebody used like they used way too much red Loctite, and I've broke red Loctite loose. There's ways to do it. You can do it. You can use a torch, heat it up, and let that heat soak in, and it'll soften that. Nick Shabazz taught me a really cool trick the one time. We were in the shop, and he had stopped by, and I got to hang out with Nick the other day, not too long ago. But he was like, take a sacrificial, like if it's T6, T8, he's like, have an extra one just for this. He's like, mark it. He's like, put the bit in the part that you're trying to get out, and then smack it with a hammer, and that shock will break it loose. He's like, and then just pop it out. And I was like, because I tried heating it, and he goes, hey, have you tried to smack it? I was like, what? He told me that, and so I went and I got a shitty T6, and I put it in, and I smacked the back of the bit with a hammer, then took my bit driver, and sure as shit, that thing came straight out. I was like, well, I'll be. Thank you very much, Nick Shabazz. Yeah, I got to spend the afternoon with Nick. It was a lot of fun. Nick is, if you guys don't know, like if you don't follow Nick's channel, Nick Shabazz, Nick is absolutely just honestly a good person. I absolutely enjoy being friends with Nick Shabazz and knowing him personally, as opposed to just, yeah, yes, I do. I do hang out with Nick. I hung out with Nick for the afternoon. I text him pretty regularly. We were friends. As a matter of fact, Nick and I rode to Blade Show West 2 years ago. I gave him a ride. I went by and picked him up at his place and gave him a ride up to Long Beach, Blade Show West in Long Beach. So Nick is just absolutely, no joke, a good person. He's a good person to know. He's not what a lot of people expect. He absolutely is an incredibly intelligent person. He's a lot of fun. He's hilarious. He's got an incredibly good sense of humor, and I'm absolutely glad that I've gotten to know to know Nick, and it was a lot of fun riding up to Blade Show West with Nick. There was a lot of stuff, and we talk about a lot. Nick and I talk about a lot of stuff that's not like knife related. We just have made friends. Like I'm friends with Chris and Elliot. I'm friends with Brian Nadeau. I'm friends with a few other people. I talk pretty regularly with several of the other big knife makers. I'm friends with Bob Terzola and stuff like that. And there's a lot of those things like people don't realize that. And there's 18 people here, but only 12 likes. If you would please drop a like on the video. I would actually absolutely appreciate it. Brian, or I'm sorry, God damn it, David. David over at Hiking with a Viking is here. That's a channel you should follow. He doesn't put up much content though. He's not real good at the consistency of editing and posting. It's because he's a hophead. I've been talking with the guys over at PMP. I'm talking with the owner of the company. I'm trying to find out when the next release of this is, and I will absolutely let you guys know. If you have not seen my video on the PMP Aries, I'm absolutely in love with this knife. This was a gift from Winston Cabretti. And it's rapidly become one of my favorite knives in my collection. This thing is amazing. It does have one thing about it. It looks very fish-like. And a lot of times I make fun of that in a knife, but in this knife, I absolutely dig it. It's cool. And all I can think of sometimes when I look at this knife is a fish with John Cleese's head on it from Monty Python's Meaning of Life. So, guys, I'm not joking. The best thing you could do for any channel is to hit the like button. If you're here and you're lurking and you haven't hit the like button, please do so. There's 19 people here, only 13 likes. That's discouraging for creators, because especially when I do it on a live feed like this, because I can see it. It just sits right there. Dislike it? Cool. I don't care. But yeah, it does look like a fish. And I don't care. I bought a PMP Aries, had a few days, but the pocket clip is meh. Catching pants, too strong for me. The best thing you can do is to just take, I'll show you what I did here. Let me see if I can get a good shot of it. So I took it and I took a file. And I knocked that point right there off. You can see how that still has a sharp point. I knocked that point off. And then cleaned it up with can you see how it's rounded now? And knocked it off with I finished it off with a 4,000 grit honing stone, a small one. And I cleaned that up. And I didn't go to the show. That was me asking you guys. So Anthony Kitchen, what did you guys get? I was asking you guys, and no one has responded really except for Rocky. I did not go to the show. I don't think it's so much that the pocket clip is too tight, because it's a very thin pocket clip, so there's not that much tension. What I think it is, I think what you're feeling is that catching, and if you just knock that point off, it absolutely takes that down a little bit. And absolutely makes it a better knife. But at any rate, I'm talking with these guys with PMP about trying to get the Kodiak in. And so that is... All right, thanks, Zorro. I didn't need that fucking mental image of you in the shower. So, but yeah, that would be my recommendation. I think that would absolutely change. It definitely changed my experience. I was having a hard time getting it in my pants, and I thought that the pocket clip was too tight as well. And I came to that realization that sharp corner was what was doing it, because it goes in like that far, so it feels like it's too tight. And it absolutely really is not that tight of a clip, because it's really thin. So it definitely made it a lot better. The Mini Evo is such a good knife. I had in my possession for a short period of time one of his arch nemesis daggers. And I gotta tell you, those things are incredible. I can't get over how much I enjoy this knife. And so I said it in a live feed the other day. Guys, there's 16 people here, 14 likes. I'd appreciate it if you drop a like. 15 people here, 14 likes. I said it in a video the other day. There's knives that come in and I don't get that over the top and impressed with them. And so they don't necessarily always get a review. So what'll happen is I'll get a knife in, I'll do the unboxing, and I try to be kind in the unboxing because it is truly a first impression. So sometimes I'll say, I don't know about this one. We'll see. It might not be one for me. And that's kind of how I felt about this. I was like, it's at least going to get a first day. Like it's an okay, decent knife. And QSP has never let me down with quality. And I was like, okay, I need to dig this out for first day in pockets, which is the video. You're going to see the first day in pockets on this knife today. And I put it in my pocket and I was so impressed. And that was several days ago, because you guys know I filmed, this has been at least a week ago that video got filmed. So what'll happen is sometimes a knife will go in pocket for the first day in pockets, and that's the last time you ever see it. Like I'll film the video and I'll like, these are the things I've noticed, da-da-da-da-da-da. QSP sent me an entire box of knives, ranging from about $300 all the way down to $45 for this one. This is my favorite in the box, is this $45 pangolin. This thing is freaking awesome. And so that video is going to go up probably about 3:30 today. I just have to build a thumbnail and then do the description and stuff like that. So I was completely taken aback by how much I enjoyed this knife the first time I put it in pocket, and it just fits your hand so good. So when that video goes up today, you can check it out and decide if you want to maybe check one out. Because the thing is, there's a purchase link in the video. There always is. The thing is, like, it's only $45. You can't really go wrong. QSP's quality has always been great. This one doesn't have quite the drop shut action as some of their other knives, but it's breaking in really well. And I would have zero complaints. Like if my wife got this for me as a Father's Day gift, there would be zero complaints. And a lot like the Caladan, like I said, it's got that curvature to it from tip to tail, which has a pretty strong curvature. And so the knife is kind of downward leaning. And so it's more of a tactical, like in-line kind of thing. But what that does is when you cut with this, you've got an aggressive downward leaning angle to the cut. And so not only can you slice like this, you can definitely like push cut going from here back. You get that same power cut. Really, really good design. What was that, Anthony? They are. I was really blown away by the Penguin for, $22. Bubbles is here. Everybody say hi to Bubbles. Everybody say hi to Bubbles. I am going to do a shameless plug for Coffee Brand Coffee because they sponsored a giveaway on the channel the other day, which was really cool. They are letting Arrowhead guys pick what he wants. So if he shows up, I got to let him know. They're going to let him go on their website and pick what he wants, tell me what he wants, and then he gets to, they're going to send it. Like he tells me, I'm going to tell them, and they're going to send it to him. He won an entire thing of coffee. And they are going to send me a bunch of product for me to do a video about. And I thought it would be cool if, right now, by the way, coupon code Crazy Sharp saves you 10% at Coffee Brand Coffee for the rest of the week. This is the last week for that. So 10% on anything if you use my coupon code Crazy Sharp. Capital C, capital S, all one word. So I do have a sponsor. They sponsor all the videos, including this one, and that's why I just wanted to say it. Like, I do love this stuff, and if you guys know me, you know, like I do have strong political opinions. I try not to throw it up here because YouTube doesn't typically like it. But I would just prefer that a company gives you a better product for your money instead of taking like I won't ever buy another Anheuser-Busch product. I won't buy Black Rifle coffee. I won't buy anything at Target ever again. And those are my personal things. If you don't want to do that, it's fine. But what I'm saying is I just love the fact that all they do is just make coffee. They don't do anything political. Now, the owner of the company may have political leanings that he espouses on his YouTube channel, and that's fine. But I don't think that companies should be doing it. Have you guys seen? The Budweiser effect is in full effect. Everybody's like, boycotts don't work. And I'm like, I believe they do. Look at your civil rights history, the history of the civil rights movement, the bus protests and the bus boycotts. That worked. And things like that. And so, like, vote with your dollars. That's just what I'm doing. That's all I'm asking you to do is just take a good hard look at what products you purchase and support the channel. So they're doing a great job. Yeah. Oh, well, then I got to tell you, blackberry cream coffee, I didn't think, I was like, I bought this. So all the coffee you see me have until whatever shows up from them here in the near future, I've bought all the coffee you've ever seen me talk about on the channel. I bought it. And I was talking about their coffee before I ever had a sponsorship, before I even had affiliate links. This stuff is probably one of the, God, it smells so good. It tastes like blackberries, but it's not all saccharine sweet. This is awesome. It's not an all the time coffee. Like, I've got just some dark roast that was sent to me from a friend that is not the same company. But I'm drinking it. It's really good. I have some dark roast. I have some coffee brand coffee medium roast. I have some other stuff. This isn't going to be the go-to, but they also they have one that is a go-to. I told them, I was like, if you guys take this off your menu, I'm going to stop buying your coffee. They also have one that is French toast. Oh, it's so good. That is a good coffee. That's my favorite coffee, period. And I don't even like flavored coffees. So Winston Cabretti gave me some blueberry flavored coffee one time. He stopped by and I tasted it. I'm not big on blueberry, and so I thought maybe just I wasn't gonna be big on berry flavored coffee to begin with. And he gave me, I got those. I bought this with my own money, and I was like, oh my, that's delightful. So I kind of get it. It is good. They have a lot of really good flavors, but their plain coffees are just they're outstanding. They really are good. And it comes with a 100% money back guarantee. So if you buy coffee and you don't like it, they'll give you your money back. I've had 3 people tell me that. They were like, yeah, I bought a flavor and I didn't like it, and they gave me my money back. And I was like, did you have to send the coffee back? They're like, no. I got to keep the coffee. You know, it wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't horrible. Josh Mann is here. What's up, Josh? 18 people, 16 likes. Please, if you're here for the video, if you're here for the live feed, drop a like. Yeah, this thing's great. I'll show you the other knife that they sent me that I absolutely love. I don't like it as much as I like the pangolin. Like, I love the pangolin. There's another knife they sent me, and it's been out for a little while. I'm not filming anything today, by the way, guys. Today is officially as close to a day off as I ever take. Well, I can't say that. I took Saturday off. I didn't do anything on Saturday, but that was because my knee really hurt. No, I did not. I did a live feed. That is also a lie. I have not had a day off. Because I was going to say, well, I didn't do anything yesterday, but I definitely did. And on Saturday, I did a live feed with the giveaway. This is the Legatus QSP, which is another amazing knife. This one's an M390. This thing has something that this one doesn't. Like, I love this. The feel on this one is exactly what I want. This one feels good. This one's a little thicker behind the edge. This thing is a freaking laser. Look how thin that is behind the edge. And it's an M390. And this thing, you want to talk about being able to just slice through. This cuts so good that it's dangerous. Have you ever had a knife that just slides through cardboard so good you're like, I have to slow down? A lot of times I just screaming through cardboard and you're like, you're close to your hand. This screams through cardboard so fast and so easily that I'm like, ooh, let me slow down and make sure I'm well away. A lot of times it's just like a feel thing, and this just slips through. What was the other one that we did the other day? There was another knife I did the other day that was like that. Just ridiculously slicey through cardboard. You guys remember which one it was? Oh, yeah. I should just go grab all the knives that I'm talking about here. The the final production version, both of these knives, actually, we'll grab them both. Actually, all three of these. This video, if you didn't see it, went up. We'll talk about this knife in a second. This video, the first knife I'm going to show you, the video went up yesterday, and I don't think as many people saw it as should have. The first one, I've got 4 knives that have come in recently, 5 technically, that just scream through stuff. The first one is this CMB made knives, Dharma, which if you're looking for a knife where you don't have to compromise looks and stuff, the video went up yesterday, you should. This thing is incredible. It's an M390 as well, and it is just almost non-existent behind the edge, and it screams through everything. This one, you've got to be careful. Like, you have got to be careful. It will slip through cardboard so fast that you're like, fuck, like, I'm going to cut myself. And I almost cut myself with this one a couple times. This one, that Daniel sent, which is the production Warrentac, which is mine. I get to keep this one. Daniel was like, nope, that's yours. I was like, oh, cool. I was trying to be conservative on how I used this and things I did, because I didn't know if this had to go anywhere. And he reached out to me and goes, no, that's yours. You get to keep it. So I was waiting to find out because he won a gift. He won a prize on the channel as one of the paying members. And so I have his return address for this. I'm going to send him his winnings. But this is absolutely a razor / laser. This is 0.018 behind the edge. 0.018 behind the edge. I want you to think about how well that's going to cut. This thing is insane. He's doing some of them. If you go over to PrecisionKnifeWorksUSA.com, you can pick them up. He's doing some of them that he's regrinding to 0.010, I mean, behind the edge. And some of them are coming out at 0.090, which that is ridiculous. I almost said something that YouTube doesn't always say. Ridiculously thin behind the edge. Super, super good. And then this one, which you guys saw, this is that the warning button with that really cool new lock mechanism. Somebody was like, oh, that looks like this, or that looks like a pawl lock, or that looks like this. This is just a new style, new take on other existing lock mechanisms. It is not like the deadlock. It's definitely different. But this thing also nightmare thin behind the edge. And it's another one that has that really cool curvature where it's like it's broke in the middle and it bends down on either side like a boomerang. It puts it in that aggressive forward-leaning position for the cut. This thing is dangerous. This one, and I think this one and the Warrentac. These two right here are probably the sliciest knives that I've had on the channel in at least a year. At least a year. This one, surprising how well it cuts because it's such thick blade stock and it's not ground from spine down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would expect a full flat as opposed to this more of a saber grind. I would expect something like this to be a little less slicey, and this isn't. This is very slicey for as big and thick as it is on this Aries. And this one cuts really well. This cuts adequately. This one is the one that gets me because of the way it feels. Just amazing how it feels in hand. So, unless you guys have something specific you want to talk about, we're going to wrap up here in about 10 minutes. I saw that Jared posted up a video too. I don't want to eat up everybody's time because Jared, they might want to watch that video. So we'll go for about another 10 minutes. But yeah, I've been really impressed with these knives. These, I have to say that the 4 knives, those 4 knives that I just showed you, the warning button and the production Warrentac, the QSP Legatus, man, the detent on that is snappy. Which is surprising because the lock bar tension isn't that hard. It's just got a really big detent ball. Snaps open. It's really, like with recoil, watch. Like it recoils. And these have all been really impressive, this CMB made knives, Dharma. I think this is probably the most attractive knife that I've seen in a very long time. I like that two-unized NV with the copper carbon fiber. But I think if I had to pick a knife that was the prettiest, most attractive knife, like functional knife as well, it's gonna be this CMB made here. Just look at that carbon fiber and everything. That is probably, I mean, even blade shape and everything. And then when you flip it, I mean, these are actual bolsters. It's got liners. So each side of this is 3-piece construction. So you can see there's liners in there, as well as the titanium's bolster and scale. So it's a true bolster with a liner lock. That is really, really intricate. And just everything about it is just about perfect. The only problem I have is that top flipper just is not functional for me. So it's got too stiff of a detent. It's too small. I can't even get it that way. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't compare anything to Spyderco for sharpness. Most of the edges that have come on Spydercos, in my opinion, are not the best. Like I have never had a Spyderco where I didn't immediately put a new edge on it. Like immediately, because they're always inconsistent. I'll show you my favorite Spyderco. You guys know, a lot of you guys know, but I haven't seen Anthony Kitchen on here ever before. My favorite Spyderco to date. Let me grab my other favorite knife. My favorite Spyderco to date, and I don't think anything's gonna knock it off the list, with the exception of maybe a good pair of 2. Is the Spyderco Police model. That is just a classic design. And it was another Grail knife for me. It was another Grail knife for me that I just couldn't justify the price on. Like my Benchmade 940. I always wanted one, but I would look at the price and I'm like, I can't justify that, especially knowing Spyderco's quality control and stuff. Winston Cobretti got this for me as a gift. He brought it to me the one time. Brought it to me or sent it to me. I can't remember which it was, but he bought it for me. We've done a lot of stuff for the channel. And it was, I got it and I was like, okay, I absolutely can say that I could justify the price on these. But the Spydercos in Japan have always been a step above the ones made in Golden, Colorado or the Taichung, Taiwan plant. Not that they're bad. Like the knives are still pretty quality, but like to demand the price they do is what I'm saying. And I've always found that the Spydercos that are made in Japan, in Seki City, have always been way better than any of the other Spydercos you're going to get. Like if it's a Spyderco from Seki City, I can say that it's probably worth most of what you're paying, not all of it. Benchmade, no. And then you guys know what I was grabbing when I was out there. Was my Norseman, which I saw a video. I saw a guy post up because I'm part of a Norseman owners group. And a guy was asking, was like, hey, do you think I get $1,000 for this modded Norseman? Now it had been modified, and it had been modified in a horrible way. They basically took the thumb stud out and put a big Spidey hole in it. And I was like, no. He was like, you think I get $1,000 for this? I was like, I wouldn't give you $300 for that. Because a lot of the information that was on it, the serial number had been cut out. The steel was completely missing. It was a big spidey hole in it. And I was looking at it, I was like, there's no way a spidey hole works well on especially on the positioning when that's just a big hole. I don't think that would work. It's not like you can reverse flick. I'll tell you what I did do though. I have taken the thumb stud off and flipped it, and you can reverse flick like crazy off of my Norseman. So my all-time favorite knife of all time is my Grimsmo Norseman. What was that? Somebody was saying. Oh, cancel that. I'm trying to pull up. I must have been lucky. I like the police model. I've had bad luck with a couple brands. Their edges on Spyderco's, you notice the issue with them when you resharpen them, especially the ones from Golden, Colorado. It's the ones that they do the robo sharpening on, the USA made ones. I don't know what happens. They get in the platen and they're always misground. There's a deep spot at the heel on both sides, and then typically the show scale, what would be the show scale side, the outside, is kicked over. And it's inconsistent. And when you get ready to sharpen it, you have to account for that. You have to basically, the angle's not correct. So I don't know what happens in them. I don't know what happens in them at that factory when they do the machine sharpening. It just always is screwed up. And they're really proud. We do a robot sharpening system, so you don't have inconsistencies. I was like, I get more inconsistencies from a Spyderco that was sharpened with their robo sharpening than I do with the others. Rocky, did you say you got a Norseman? Bought double thumb studs from the Grimsmo Brothers. I thought about it. I don't think I want the double thumb studs. Here's the thing. Like, I like the look of the screw. Like, I like the way the screw looks. There you have the most attractive hardware. Hang on. They have the most attractive hardware on the market in their knives. And I think that if I did the double thumb studs, I wouldn't like it. You know what I mean? I may save up the money and order a set of double thumb studs. I don't know. But, I mean, if I want to reverse flick, I can just take the thumb stud off and flip it. It's really not that hard to do. So it does look really good. And like I said, a lot of knives, I would be upset. Seeing the hardware. Like, I don't want to see the hardware on the blade. And a lot of knives, I'm like, I want less hardware. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times I'll say that about knives. On this knife, their hardware is so well done and attractive that I honestly wish they had more screws in this knife. Which is unusual. I wish there was 3 standoffs, like another one up here, so you had more hardware because it's attractive. That would be about double what I've ever spent on a knife. It looks very nice. Yeah, here's the thing. I did a video, like, is a $1,000 knife? It's coming up. I still have to finish a little bit of editing. And is a $1,000 knife at this point still worth it? And it's a response to comments. I did a couple videos that are response to comments that you guys asked on older videos. And I was going through comments, and I was like, I saw some comments that I hadn't seen. And it was like, do you think with all the budget knives that are available? I can't remember who asked it, and it'd take me a while to get back and find that comment. It was just a random comment that was about a year or so old. And it was like, at this point, with so many good budget knives on the market, do you think a $1,000 knife is still worth it? And I shot a video explaining why I think it is, but why a lot of people won't think it is. But there's a lot of things that go into that. Now, here's the thing. This was my last big knife purchase. I'm not buying another knife. Like, the knives you see on the channel now are coming in from companies, coming in from Jared, coming in from people. I have bought a couple little things for on the channel, like just little goofy things that I'm using for on the channel. But all in all, I'm not buying any more knives. As my wife told me, no more knives when she found out that I'd spent $1,000 on this. I absolutely am happy with my purchase. A lot of people would be like, that's just too much. But then you've got those same people that want that knife so bad, they'll go out and buy a clone. And then they're like, it couldn't be that good of a knife. I got the clone. I'm like, you're absolutely are trying to compare. You're trying to compare apples and white wall tires. Like, they are so far removed. Any of the knockoffs that I've seen of any of the knives, the Striders, the Sabenzas, the Norseman, any of the knockoffs that I've seen that people try to keep, oh, it's the same, you can just carry the same thing. The steel's not good, the titanium's not right, it won't anodise. And they think that they're going to get the same quality at a quarter of the price, and you're not. There's a reason that those knives cost that much. And when they buy those knockoffs and they try to say it's every bit as good, maybe because you've never seen the real thing, you're saying that. But I'm going to tell you, very, very rarely are there any thing that's going to come out that even comes as close to the attention that somebody's going to put to a design that they made. And so you're never going to get the same experience and things like that. And so that's where, like, the same people that are I wouldn't buy $1,000 knife, then don't buy a $300 knockoff of that $1,000 knife. And it all comes down to people who are like, well, I can't afford a $1,000 knife. Yeah, not today, probably not tomorrow. A lot of us can't afford it next month. I had to save for years, literally saved for 5 years to buy my Norseman. And that's one of those things, like, I literally picked pennies and quarters and nickels up off the street when I would see them, put them in my pocket, bring them home, and put them in a coffee can and dump that into the account that was set up specifically for this purchase. And that's what irritates me, is people want this knife and they're willing to go out and pay a company that is stealing instead of just taking the time to save. And that's a big problem with this country today, is that instant gratification. Well, I got to have it right now. No, you don't. You don't need it right now. You can wait. Just save. I saved and saved and saved. And I had the money for a while before I actually pulled the trigger on it. Once we sold the house and we had that influx of cash and the YouTube channel had taken off and it was paying the bills at the time, I was like, okay, I'm comfortable with doing this right now. Would I do it today with knowing that the way that the revenue has dropped on YouTube and things like that, and seeing like I can't pay my bills with YouTube and I'm actively working on trying to get that instructor position? Would I do that today? No, I would not. But at the time, we were in a pretty comfortable position. And the channel had taken off and the ad revenue was really, really good. And YouTube wasn't forcing us to beg you guys for super chats and things like that. And they weren't like, well, if everybody's revenue drops, but just remind everybody, memberships and super chats and super stickers, they're available. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not the point. Like, the ad revenue was what we relied on. And so now I wouldn't do it, but I've already done it and I'm not going to get rid of it. Because there's no chance I would pull that trigger again. Like, the angst and emotions that went with fucking actually pulling the trigger on it again, I couldn't do it. Even if I had, like, say I was making a lot of money at a job. If I got rid of this today, I would never own another Norseman. And it's not because of the quality or anything like that, but just that gut check. Once I pulled the trigger on it, I was like, oh, fuck, I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe I dropped $1,000 on a knife. Now, I had done it in the past, and I was younger, and I was dumb, and we didn't have a kid, and I was making a lot of fucking stupid money. So it was a long time ago. It was like 15 years ago that I did that, when I dropped that on a custom knife. So that, would I do it today now? No. But since I already have it, I'm not going to ever get rid of it. I'm not upset with that purchase. I just don't think... No, I probably would. I would, but I'd have to think real hard about it. So, guys, I'm going to end this here in just a few minutes. I wanted to remind all you guys, like, if you have the ability to do it, check out joining my membership. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of benefits and stuff like that. I don't want to always beg you guys for super chats and stuff like that. I don't want to. I would not like the Warrenclyffe Sabenza Winston. I appreciate everything that everybody does to support the channel. Rocky drops gift memberships all the time. Guys drop super chats and things like that. But the best way, for me personally, the way I would like to see it happen is if you want to support the channel, check out a membership and get in on that Gilded server and see how much fun we have. I have 3 tiers: baseline, premium. I'm sorry, I have Just Looking, which just gets you access to the Gilded server. Baseline and premium, you get the Gilded server, and you're automatically entered into the giveaways. And if you're a premium member, you get all of that other stuff plus a sharpening tutorial series that's on YouTube that I built just for those guys. So it's like a paid class. So I'm going to probably end here in a minute. If you haven't dropped a like, I'd appreciate it. If you're in someone's live feed and you can drop a super chat, I'm not talking about mine. If you're in a live feed and you can drop a super chat, please do it. It lets the creators know that you absolutely enjoy what we're doing. The likes are great and everything, but when we get super chats, it absolutely makes us happy. I'm not trying to do that whole thing where I'm just pushing super chats all the time. I want to apologize for a lot of the live feeds that I was getting frustrated. It had gotten to a point where, like, when the revenue started to drop and super chats started to dry up and everything, I was getting frustrated, and that's why we're doing the live feeds differently now. I didn't want that to become a thing, and so we just do this because it's fun. I didn't get anything at Blade Show. I was asking you guys. That was the whole point of this live feed, was for you guys, and the only person that came up with anything they got was Rocky. So, but yeah, I'm going to end it on that. Like I said, if you're into like Jared's live feed, even if it's only a couple bucks, drop him a super chat. Cole, any of those guys, just to appreciate the amount of work that gets put into all this stuff. You can do super, it's called super thanks on people's videos and stuff like that. So if you're enjoying someone's content and you got a couple bucks, just drop it in their live feed to support my fellow creators. So, I'm gonna get off of here. I've got stuff to catch up on. Like I said, I spent the weekend with the kid. Saturday night. If you guys didn't see on the Gilded server, we did the live feed on Saturday night at 7 p.m. I took my kid to the ice rink so she could skate. We didn't get home till like 9:30, so it was a lot of fun. I got to see her hang out. Winston, congrats! I wasn't trying to get you to drop it in mine. I don't have my bell or anything, so just remember, I'm a ray of fucking sunshine. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Guys, I'm going to get out of here so I can get this place cleaned up before the wife comes. So my wife's not feeling good today, so I've got to get supper and stuff ready. There will be a video going up probably 4 p.m.-ish. I haven't decided. Depends on how long it takes me to do my thumbnail. It'll be between either 2:30, 3:30, or 4. Just keep an eye out for it. It's going to be the first day in Pockets video from this. Oh, you picked up the Jack Wolf knives. Are amazing. I need to get Ben back on the channel again. Ben is just an outstanding member of the knife community. Bringing those knives back up to the status that he has with slip joints, the Jack Wolf stuff, and it's absolutely a combination of the marketing, the imagery, and the quality. It's a complete culmination of all of that done into almost a perfect storm. Tell Ben I said that. If you get a chance to tell Ben, tell him I'm going to send him the same thing. But it is awesome to see a company bring slip joints back up to that level. I mean, there's a few people that have been doing it. Enrique Pena, I love Enrique. He's a great dude. He's brought a lot of really, really good ones to the market. That's been awesome. But I think Jack Wolf Knives, I think Ben over at Jack Wolf Knives has done so much to bring back something that was kind of lost. I wish that Great Eastern Cutlery could get more people to work there, but that company's going to end. And it would be great to see American-made versions of the slip joints as well as the offshore stuff. Not complaining the offshore stuff isn't good. I would love to see more American-made affordable knives that aren't trash. Problem is, you get an American knife these days, a lot of times they're just trash. It really is. And it's sad to say, it is really, really sad to say there's a couple exceptions. There are a couple exceptions to that rule, but the fact is, if you're getting a $100 American knife, a lot of times they're just pretty bad. They're cutting a lot of corners and stuff like that. So that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. Love you guys. Winston, thanks again for the super chat. Like I said, the video going up today is going to be about the QSP Pangolin, and you'll see how much it impressed me today. And then I've got like 14 videos all filmed. I will tell you there's going to be a final review video of this knife that has had a lot of pocket time, which is amazing. This knife, which was a gift from Winston Cobretti, as well as some of the other really good knives you've seen on the channel. There's gonna be a final review of that knife, and I think that I'm coming up on, I've done about all I want to do with this warning button, except disassembly. And I know how to disassemble it, it's just very difficult, and with my carpal tunnel, I'm having a hard time doing it the way I want without marring this. I just can't get the pivot loose. I know how to do it now, I just can't get it to do what I want. So I think that video is going to be coming soon. I think once I get it apart, it's going to be fine and it won't pose the problems. I just can't get the pivot all the way out. So guys, I love y'all. I got to clean this mess up and get something figured out for what I'm going to do for dinner for the family, since my wife is sick and refused to take it. I tried to get my wife to stay home from work today and she just refused. So I'm going to at least try and get something figured out so that my wife doesn't have to cook dinner for anybody. So that's it, guys. I love y'all. See you later. Check out the video that's going up later, and go check out my back catalog. If you haven't dropped a like, absolutely please do so on your way out, and I will see you later.